If you love going through old photos that make you wish that you had a time machine, then wait till you see these 20 vintage photos that show too much. Relive this piece of 70s nostalgia in the form of Woodsy Owl, remembered for his catchphrase, "Give a hoot, don't pollute." Harold Bell came up with the idea of a monstrous woodland creature to spread awareness about the rising pollution, and he approached Rudy Wendelin for the design. This is a great shot of Loretta Lynn, who is the most successful female recording country artist of all time. She was named as Artist of the 70s Decade by the Academy of Country Music for a number of chart-topping singles and albums with messages of rebellious feminine empowerment. This photo from 1961 shows blues legend Samuel John Lightnin' Hopkins. Young Hopkins was sent to prison in the 1930s. However, he resumed his passion for singing after being released, and continued doing what he loved before passing away in 1982 due to esophageal cancer. The world witnessed as Jim Morrison, the lead singer of The Doors, went on a self-destructive spiral. 2 years after Morrison exposed himself on stage in Miami, the band tried to salvage themselves by using their rehearsal space as a recording studio. The photo shows Jim Morrison recording the LA Woman album in 1970. Did you know that before Jeopardy was such a hit, Trebek used to host a number of game shows? Here, a young Gordon Lightfoot can be seen being interviewed by host Alex Trebek on CBC's Music Hop in 1963. This is a photo of the Beastie Boys from the 80s, the band which immortalized frat boy culture through unconventional hip-hop beats. This photograph from 1967 was taken on the set of Bandolero. Dean Martin spent his 50th birthday playing a criminal Dee Wallace, whose gang is being chased across the Badlands after luckily escaping execution. The band Journey had already been playing for 5 years by 1978 and had released 3 albums before hiring their most successful lead vocalist, Steve Perry. This photo is of the early 1960s, when Natalie Wood became the apple of Hollywood's eye. While she had started her career as a child, the early 60s gave her the chance to prove herself as a successful actress as well as a good sport. This is a snapshot from the British sci-fi series from 1970 titled UFO. The intriguing plot was set in 1980, and the show ran for 26 episodes. Here is Angie Dickinson in the role of a Sergeant Suzanne Anderson in the 70s show Policewoman, the first police show with a female lead. This photo captures the original lineup of the band Black Sabbath in 1973, and the name really fits the doom and gloom vibe of their songs. Dolly Parton, Emmylou Harris, and Linda Ronstadt are pictured here, who got together for the album Trio, released in 1987. The album featured artists like Porter Wagner and Johnny Russell, and received several awards including 2 Grammys. This picture is from 1979 and shows members of Rio Speedwagon just before the release of their 8th album, Nine Live. This disappointing release of this heavy album reoriented their focus on releasing pop albums such as High Infidelity and Wheels Are Turning. Presenting the talented cast of The Bob Newhart Show. The 1972 show was filmed with a live studio audience, and Newhart played Bob Hartley, a psychologist in Chicago who goes about his daily business and gets into all kinds of scrapes with his loved ones, co-workers, and patients. This is an advertisement for a set of Pyrex bowls from the 1950s. When the bowls were initially released in 1915, people were skeptical of whether they could withstand being put in the oven. However, over the course of 4 years and multiple demonstrations, Pyrex bowls have become the staple of every American household. This still from the 1973 film Serpico shows legendary actor Al Pacino in the role of NYPD cop Frank Serpico, which earned him his first Golden Globe at the 1974 ceremony. This is Bob Gibson of the St. Louis Cardinals, who absolutely reigned over 1968 in an unprecedented stint. Gibson had a low earned run average of 1.12 and 13 shutouts to his credit, and baseball experts are still attempting to figure out all the factors behind it. In this picture from 1975, Carrie Fisher is an 18-year-old being cast in her first film, Shampoo. Even though she got a minor role back then, her talent did not remain hidden from the world for long. The Funshine Saturday lineup from the 1970s is truly a callback to the old times, when TV schedules used to be printed out like this. That's all for today.